Hi, everyone. I'm Melissa Lamson, and I'm with my business partner, Kim Miles. We're the co-creators of Recreate. And we thought it might be fun to kind of interview each other a little bit about our backgrounds so we can share a bit more about us with you. We've had a lot of questions about who the heck are you and where did you come from and what do you do? So we're going to answer all those questions now. What do you think, Kim?
Yep, let's do it.
All right. So why don't you start? You tell us a little bit about your career path, your professional ventures. What have you done? What do you got going on?
What's my story? So, gosh, I spent about 20 plus years in marketing and advertising. Although my very first job out of college, I worked for a lobbyist who specialized in land development in San Francisco. She was like a one-woman show. Probably the best boss I ever had. Like I learned so much from her and super grateful for the job. Not my jam at all as far as what I wanted to do. I always wanted to be in the magazine world and the advertising and publishing world. So I spent about 20 years in that world, working for different magazines. And I had a great career that I loved until I got to that point where the industry was changing. I was changing. I was looking for something new. I had no idea what to do next. I wasn't even sure what I wanted to do. I just knew that it was time to pivot. And it was at that time that my sister introduced me to network marketing. And I was a hard no. I was like, absolutely not. I'm not doing anything like that. I didn't understand the industry. And I was just like, it is not for me. But my sister, bless her heart, like every day for like 7 weeks straight, kept talking to me. And so finally I was at this point where I learned more about the network marketing industry and I really fell in love with it. I fell in love with like the community aspect, the personal growth aspect. And I found that like what I really love to do was like coach, teach, train, and help people build businesses. And so I have been with the same network marketing company for the last 15 plus years. And what that allowed me to do is just have time to do some other things, which for me, one of my goals and something on my bucket list was to write a book. So I wrote a book. I went on a book tour that was super fun. I met my husband and retired him from a high tech career. And we started a local spin gym in a little beach town called Santa Cruz, California. And we sold that. And now we have a nonprofit where we take kids mountain biking. And so that all led me up to Recreate. So every stage I've been recreating and recreating.
A true serial entrepreneur. Wow.
Yes.
And we also just can't, we have to mention that you were like you are a top performer in the networking marketing business. So
it's been a lot of fun, and building a business with my sister was fun. And because of like our experience, we also launched a podcast because we wanted to help other people kiss corporate goodbye and get out of the corporate world. And for some people, network marketing is a great vehicle. There's tons of other vehicles, but we want to just help people live their best life. And that sort of parlays into some of the stuff we're doing with Recreate too.
That's right. And it's always really, I think, important to have kind of side hustles, right? I mean, it keeps it interesting. It mixes it up. You know, we have every intention with Recreate to help people start something that maybe in addition to what else they're working on or their careers that they're still building. But, you know, we have a lot of time and we have energy and we have great ideas. And so why not make it all happen if we can? I mean, I think that's great.
I learned something from you that you said most women typically in that 2 to 3 year mark, they're looking for like the next challenge. And so for me, I just liked having multiple streams of income. I like having multiple projects so that, and everything's usually aligned with my values and my passions. And so it never seems like stressful or like, oh, you're doing too much. It's always been kind of fun.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, when it's fun, you can put in hundreds of hours and it feels great, right? Yep. So like we're doing with Recreate, which is, I was just telling someone I have goosebumps every day and they were like, really? I was like, oh yeah, I do totally. So I think it would also be fun to hear about something fun. I mean, we created Recreate because we also believe not only in working hard, but playing hard. And the whole objective is that if we recreate, which is to have fun and get a lot of great energy from doing stuff that we enjoy, that will really spark innovation and creativity, which leads us to being able to create businesses, create charities, create nonprofits, or just whatever our next project is from a professional standpoint. And so it would be good to hear, like, what's something that what's a time, I guess, in your life where you have unadulterated, absolutely fantastic, amazing fun? You want to share one with us?
Well, sure. I'll share like the clean version. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm a big music buff, and I happen to adore the band Depeche Mode. So I'm a total 80s girl, and I actually met my bestie at a Depeche Mode concert. It's a long story for another time, but one year we were just at this place where I was single, she was single, and it was getting close to her birthday. And I was just in a place, and I'm like, hey, what should we do for your birthday? And she's like, I don't know. I'm like, hey, let's see where Depeche Mode's playing. And so they were on tour that year, and we looked, and they happened to be in Spain. And so we're like, let's go to Spain. And so we went to Spain. I know, it was crazy. We went to Spain, and we saw Depeche Mode play in Granada, Spain, in this Coliseum venue. That was the coolest thing. And if that wasn't enough, they were staying at our hotel, and we got to post-game party and have drinks with a lot of the band members of Depeche Mode. So it was just a crazy, fun-filled trip. And then we got to go to Barcelona, and just there were so many great things. But yeah, we got to party with the band.
I miss Spain so much too. Oh my gosh. The atmosphere is so fabulous there. The food is great. It just feels, oh, I'm so jealous, so jealous, so jealous.
Yeah,
that's great. And what are you most proud of in terms of what you've accomplished in your life?
you know, this isn't going to be a business thing that I'm proud of. And I don't even think you know this about me, Melissa, but when I was 30, a friend of mine said, hey, do you want to run a marathon? I'm like, no, I don't want to run a marathon. That's insane. Who wants to do that? And she said, well, we could raise money for the Leukemia Society, and they'll send us to Paris for free. And so I'm like, okay, I'm in. Because I'm like, if I'm going to run a marathon, it might as well be in Paris. And so super proud that, and it wasn't just accomplishing like the marathon, because anyway, it's really like the training and the discipline that goes into running the marathon. So I'm super proud of that. I would say that's one of the things I'm most proud of, that I actually said I was going to do it. I trained really hard to do it, and then we did it.
And I know you're an athlete. I mean, you're an incredible tennis player. You do run, you work out, you do lots of exercise.
I haven't ran that far since, ever.
But that's a long distance. That's an amazing distance. And did I get that right? The marathon was actually in Paris?
It was in Paris. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Cool. It was one of the coolest things. And I will tell you, for people who are runners, I'll get this. Like, it was right around mile 18 where I was just like, this might be the dumbest thing I've ever done. And it was kind of starting to mist and rain, and I was like miserable, and I was like, this is terrible. This is so stupid. And then like I turned the corner, and there's the Eiffel Tower, which is just so breathtaking that I'm like, all right, I could do this and I could finish it. So it was pretty incredible.
That's incredible. Unbelievable. All right. So what do you look forward to with Recreate?
Well, I love creating businesses. You said I was a serial entrepreneur. I love creating them for myself. I love helping other people. And I am so excited to show people, women, how their ideas can come to fruition, how they can turn their passion into a business, a book, a charity, and just to show them that you can absolutely do anything you want. So I'm super excited. We've already gotten a taste of what some people are working on. And these ideas these women have in our group are mind-blowing. Like, I am blown away by their passion, their commitment, their desire to create that better world. And so I'm really excited about helping them turn these ideas, turn these businesses, turn these projects into a reality.
Yeah, they're incredible. It's been so fun to hear. We're going to share some of those, but we're going to wait until the next video to do that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, so turning the tables. Melissa, what's your background? Tell us all about you.
Oh my gosh. All right. So I started my career in diversity and inclusion. So I have something called a master's in intercultural relations, which has really been interesting. So it's all about understanding how cultures behave and interact and communicate. And I was really particularly interested in how that worked from a business standpoint and then global business standpoint. So I started my business, if you will, in the Boston area. And then I had the opportunity, and that's also for another video, to move to, to Germany, which I had never been to, and I didn't speak German. But I thought, hey, why not? Because I had spent some time in Europe. Can't be that bad. It turned out to be wonderful. And I lived there for 10 years and I ran two companies. And one was on global leadership and developing global mindset for executives. And the other was on diversity and inclusion in Europe specifically. And worked with all kinds of amazing companies like IKEA and SAP and Deutsche Bank and et cetera, and really got a lot of experience with the corporate world, but also got the experience to work in over 40 countries on projects. And so really incredible experiences in South Africa and China and Brazil, and it was just mind blowing. And so always learning, always getting the opportunity to meet new people and be around other cultures. And that was so fun for me. And then I moved back to the States and sold my business in Europe, the diversity and inclusion business, and then continued on with my leadership business. And so my program is running at LinkedIn and Google and Facebook, et cetera, SpaceX. So it's been really fun to kind of continue on with the leadership and management development work. And then simultaneously, I also started really doing a lot of work with women in leadership and have a coaching roster with women in leadership, or helping women be better leaders and get into leadership positions. And then also some workshops also with women. And that's been really successful, and have launched that in several different companies. And from that, it's really been like, okay, what else could we do specifically that would support women? And hearing so many stories from women in their 40s and 50s on what they're interested in and what they want to do and what they don't feel is really working for them inside the corporate world or in their own organizations or in their lives at the moment, it's really given a lot of impetus and data for our how we want to position the whole project with Recreate, right? So we've based really a lot of what we've designed at Recreate on exactly that, on our experience and knowledge with all the women that we've been helping and coaching and working with. So that's essentially what my background's been until now with Recreate. So I get to
And you've also published how many books?
6. Yes. One actually in English and in German, although I can't take really credit for the German version.
No, but it's a big deal. I mean, I know when I wrote my book, I don't think I would have written it if I didn't have like a co-author. So to write 6, it's a huge accomplishment. So okay, let's go straight to the fun piece. Like, when was the last time you could remember just the best time of your life and something that maybe we don't know about you?
Well, it's funny. There is something about Spanish speaking countries, right? So I was in Argentina and I was actually seeing a tango show at this incredible hotel, which right now the name is escaping me, but if it comes to me, I'll mention it. And beautiful, but a tiny, tiny space and unbelievable dancers. So they're dancing right next to you, right? So you can almost touch them, right? Or you literally could touch them if you decided to be creepy and reach out and do so. But they were just leaning into you while you're drinking this beautiful Argentinian wine, and they're dancing all around you, and the show's incredible. But the more incredible thing was, a little bit actually similar to your story, is all of a sudden I turn around and I'm looking around the room, and Keith Richards is sitting right behind me at a table with his wife and kid, and I think 2 kids, and some bodyguards, and he's chain smoking through the whole performance, which is hilarious because there's no smoking allowed in the venue. But they're not going to tell Keith Richards no. And apparently he was there with the Rolling Stones playing shows and was staying at that hotel. I was not, unfortunately, so I didn't get to party with him afterwards. But it was fun to see him, and it was funny because the show was straight ahead and he was straight behind. So I had to kind of turn all the way around to look at him a couple of times because I just could not look at Keith Richards. So
Right.
The evening was a blast and really fun.
That sounds so fun. Yes. I don't know. There's something that I'm so excited to get back to: live events, live parties and fun like that. And I know we incorporated that into our Recreate program because both of us want to do more of that. And we know so many people. So you can expect some pretty amazing blowout party events from us while we're creating amazing things. So you have done so much. I think I shared on our earlier video, our intro video, if you haven't heard it, how I was just so inspired and impressed by you. And when I moved to Arizona, I really wanted to be around like people, women who would inspire me, and you are definitely one of them. So what are you most proud of?
Well, it's interesting that you say that. And, it just came to my mind right now what I'm proud of. And what I'm really proud of is conceptualizing Recreate. And I know it sounds kind of funny to say that right now because we haven't even, I mean, we've launched it, but we haven't even gone through a whole program yet of Recreate. But what I'm really proud of is that Recreate is not only this incredible platform that's going to help individuals. What it's going to do is it's going to level up our town. I mean, you and I both lived in lots of different places, and now we're back here. We live here, and we love it here. We love the weather. We love our people. You have family here, so of course it's like our home. And we really want to see it grow. I mean, it's a fragile economy. If those of you who know economic studies of fragile and resilient and anti-fragile, and a San Francisco is an anti-fragile, a Seattle is a resilient. We are still fragile as an economy. And I think for us to be able to give all these women the opportunity to build something and build something sustainable that will stay in Phoenix, right?
Mhm.
Then we have the opportunity to create more jobs, bring more interesting people here, and then we're going to need more infrastructure. So we're going to need incredible, culture and venues and music and theater to really support all these amazing people who are coming here to be part of what's being built here. And so I would say that if we achieve that, that's what we're most proud of. And maybe that actually leads a little bit into the last question about, what am I looking forward to with Recreate? Absolutely. I'm looking forward to that and achieving that and making that happen. But also I think coming back to what we're talking about in terms of fun and work, I really love the fact that we're working hard, but we're going to play hard because it's really time that we have some fun, particularly with all this pandemic stuff going on. We're going to be really looking forward to having a great time in 2021.
Yeah, and I think I'm also just looking forward to the community that we're building because I truly believe we're better together. I believe that,
Absolutely.
when you lift people up, you rise too. And I'm super anxious because we're starting in January, but I'm just really anxious to like build anxious in a good way,
Yeah.
to build our community and just see people really, as cliche as it sounds, really live their best life and step into like what they're meant to be doing. And I think both of us are excited about that.
Absolutely. So we'll leave it with that so that we're really looking forward to creating a better life and creating a better world and to be continued.